Heyo, what's going on, Wade? It's another Friday.
TGIF, buddy. TGIF.
Yes, sir. I feel like we're starting this almost the same as last week. Who's on top of the standings?
The Leafs are still on top of the standings. It feels good. We had a little bit of a scare there. We went up. Obviously, everyone knows about that game against Ottawa. Leafs are up 5-1, and a late second period goal, and boom, it's 5-2, and they come back, win the game in overtime, 6-5. No one's seen it coming. Ottawa had, I think, 7 points on the season at that point. And that one stung a little bit, and the Leafs fan base was harassed a bit by the league. And hey, man, what happens when you're kicked down a little bit? You get back up and you respond in the best way possible. And the Leafs did that with goaltending. Even Hutchison played well the other night too. I guess as well as he needed to get the W for us. But yeah, no, Leafs are on a roll and they're rolling. And how do you feel about the Leafs right now, Archie? I know that this is pretty unbelievable. It's fantastic so far.
Yeah, man. I mean, it feels good to finally be able to say that it's okay to lose a game. I mean, not the way we did. I wasn't happy about that, but it's okay to lose a game and know that we're still able to maintain position. Historically, we haven't been that lucky where every win, every loss could be detrimental to where they finish. So, I mean, doesn't secure anything, but we're still sitting in a good spot. Our top line is just devastating teams. As Nylander described Matthews, he's picking goalies apart. And he literally is with the way he's scoring. I don't think I've seen one repeated move this year with his goals. It's every goal has been different in so many different ways. And I love that. He's showing a lot with that. So yeah, I mean, we'll open up with that. Leafs are on fire right now. For anybody who's not sure, they're 13-3-2, 28 points, a plus 19 goal differential, 7-1-2 in their last 10. You couldn't ask for a better position. I mean, no one's going to go a perfect season. I'm really happy with it. I know a lot of people are on, and including myself, critical on Freddie Anderson. How's he going to do? Big win for Hutch the other night. Massive win. We needed that. We haven't seen too much backup action from our goalies, but when we have, they've done good. They've done their part. So it's good to see that, we don't have to freak out and think, oh no, we have a backup going in tonight. That allows Freddie Anderson to get the rest that he needs to avoid being overworked and fatigued, and hopefully keep that momentum going. And when I say the momentum going, it's coming from our goal scorers too. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton is in the mix of this conversation. Why? Because last night, combined for 11 points. These three guys combined for 11 points. That is unreal. And I get it. Matthews, 16 goals in 17 games. What more could you want out of the guy? Mitch Marner, 27 points and a plus-minus rating of a plus 16. He said he was changing his game. Wow, has he ever changed his game? Joe Thornton, everybody was saying, Joe who? When he got hurt, we were still winning games. Do we really need him? He's old. He's this. He's that. He comes back in. Oh, my God, they're putting him on that first line. Are they crazy? What do you feel? I mean, I think he looks like he's rejuvenated.
Yeah, Archie, that's the perfect word for it. He's re-energized. He's rejuvenated. He's found his game. He doesn't look like a 41 or 42-year-old guy skating around the ice right now. He looks like he's 30 years old right now. He looks like he's out there having fun. And look at the passes he's making, man. He's like Mitch Marner 2.0. I mean, Joe Thornton was a Mitch Marner type player his whole career. I mean, the guy has over 1,000 assists. So, or is it 1,000 assists?
I'd have to verify.
You know that statistic? I'm pretty sure it's about 1,000 assists for sure. He's killing it with assists. He's been one of the best assist men in the league.
Yeah,
but anyways,
He's over
He's
1,000.
over 1,000. He's one of the better playmaking setup guys in the league, and he always has been. And you have him and Mitch Marner on the line feeding Austin Matthews right now. Like you said, man, 16 goals in 17 games. It doesn't get any better than that, man. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen for Leaf fans in a long time. Like, we've been waiting for a player like this that just is electric and exciting and entertaining, that will lift a team, put them on their shoulders, and win games and carry the team. I mean, you could put the C on Austin Matthews right now. Joe Thornton quoted it the best. He could be up for a Selke, a Hart Trophy, and a Rocket Richard right now. If only 20 games in or so, but he's right there, man. He's being compared with the McKinnons and the McDavids right now of the league, and that's really special for Leafs fans. Just going back to that whole line, I mean, man, Joe came back in and didn't miss a beat. Like, he already made major impact really, really, really quickly. I mean, he had, I think his first game back, he had a point or two. Second game back, he had a point, and then it's just rolling for him right now. And he's even had a couple goals called back on him two games ago, which high stick and the other one where he pushed the goalie pad into the net. But he's there, he's around, he's hungry, he's in the right places. And it's really, really fun to watch that top line right now. I mean, I was waiting for Wayne Simmons to come back when we were kind of playing for, the Leafs were playing kind of 20 to 30-minute games recently, prior to the last two games. Mm-hmm. Kind of playing first period, dominating. The top line obviously just killing it and crushing it always, but there's just been something going on with the Leafs and not being able to play a full 60-minute game. But recently they've cleaned that up, and that's a special thing to have too, when you know that you can put your foot on the gas for, at least 50 minutes a game, and you're never going to have full control of a game. But Leafs have looked good, and I know it was Ottawa, guys, but I mean, the way that they've bounced back, the way that they're playing, passing the puck, they really became one unit as a team. And it's really fun to watch right now. I can't wait for Montreal tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I mean, the other important thing in that game is that aside from the continued amazing play we've seen from those top three guys, we finally had Mikheyev get another goal. Nylander, under a lot of criticism, got himself a goal, got on the score sheet. And it's funny because as I'm watching the game, the commentators were saying, imagine Tavares gets on the sheet right now. This is what the Leafs need. Not even 20 seconds later, boom, shot on net. A simple shot on net. Beats the goalie. Tavares is on the score sheet. So everything you could have possibly wanted from this team happened in that game. And I know, like you said, it's Ottawa. But Ottawa has been that thorn in team sides this year. They beat Montreal. They beat the Leafs twice. And you need it. If you're going to get those blowout games, this is where you need it. You're not going to get it against a Montreal. You're not going to get it against other good competitive teams in the league. So for us, I mean, it's a little different because we're not playing everybody in the league. It's just that Canadian contingent. But a 7-3 win with that sort of production is what you want. Every once in a while, you need games like this to happen. So for the Leafs to have been able to pull that off and bounce back after that horrendous collapse the other night, that every Leaf fan sat there knowing it was inevitable. It was going to happen. There was no way around it. We saw it from the very get-go. We're up 5-1, and then you're just like, oh no. And it's just storybook. Like, you knew they weren't going to win that game in overtime. You just knew it. So great way to put that behind them. And again, we can go into the conversation. Freddie, steady or not, right now still sits at the top of the league with 10 wins. He's 10-3-2. Over 15 games played. He's allowed 40 goals against, works out to about a 2.67 goals against average, and a .905 save percentage. Not bad. The numbers are not bad. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's steady. He's winning. He's finding ways to win games, but hopefully he continues to improve on not letting in that early goal or that late goal in the dying seconds of a period. If he can find that and feel a little more comfortable positionally, I think we've got as steady a Freddie you can get. And he knows he's in a contract year. He's got no choice. He's definitely got to be as steady as possible. So real quick, your thoughts on Freddie? And I know Hutchinson got us the win the other night, but how do you feel with regards to Anderson and his progress so far?
You know what? Every Stanley Cup contending team needs a backbone of a goalie. And Freddie has proven during the regular season that he is a really good goalie in the league. Now, we can sit here, Archie, and we can say, you know what? We need consistency from Freddie, because we've seen consistency from Freddie before. He's had a pretty good career in Toronto. We've always had a winning record with Freddie. And I really think it boils down to, you know what? Steady is a very easy word to use. Steady Freddie to me is just, a consistent goalie that's, going to play games, going to get you wins. Losses are going to happen when they do, but someone that you can rely on and not feel like, holy shit, there's a 2-on-1 and Freddie's back there. This is bad. You know what I mean? I don't want to feel like that. Leaf fans don't want to feel like that. And you know what? Freddie, to me, just in my opinion, he doesn't really give me that feeling. I kind of have a little bit of a trust in Freddie. I think that he is steady Freddie for us. But that being said, as I was just saying, Archie, I think it all boils down to playoff hockey, man. Freddie can do what he can. A lot of people are going to argue, man, look at the Leafs powerhouse. Freddie will let in 3 or 4 goals, but the Leafs are going to score 4 or 5. And that's kind of the remarks going on around the league, just with the high-powered offense that the Leafs have. And obviously our defense cleaned up, but we'll see what happens. It is a contract year, like you said, for Freddie Anderson. And depending on how he plays this playoffs, if he lets in a couple of those weak goals and somehow we don't make it past the first round, which I'm just going to assume that the Leafs are going to make playoffs and make a first round. I mean, come on now. But anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen. I'm just, I'm hopeful. But you never know, and he's got to stand on his head in the playoffs, and that's where it really friggin' matters with the Leafs fan base right now, Archie, is he needs to stand on his head in the playoffs, play good enough to get to playoffs, and we'll really see what Freddie brings us in order to win a Stanley Cup. Because if he doesn't deliver this year, I could see the Leafs letting him walk, and we could just try with a new goalie, depending on the money that he wants to sign with another team, obviously, which I think, he's going to want his last big paycheck and contract for the rest of his career somewhere else. So I'm thinking he's going to want like a 4 or 5 year deal for sure. Absolutely. I don't know. That's my thoughts on Freddie, dude. What do you think, man?
No, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. He's obviously going to try to secure, a decent 4 or 5 year deal type of thing. We have been critical on him, just like any other goalie would be under the gun in Toronto. And because historically, I mean, man, as far back as I can go, I can't name in recent years at any point where I've said, I have faith in our goalie. Right now, I'm not going to lie. It's there. I feel he's done a good job with restoring that faith for Leaf fans and showing that he does still have what it takes to be that goalie. Because if you look at goalies prior to him, I never had that confidence. And I'm talking like, for that confidence for me, I'd have to look back to the days of Curtis Joseph and Ed Belfour. Like, we're talking a lot of years of broken goalie tandems in Toronto that just didn't pan out. So Freddie's done his part, and hopefully he plays at a level where we can extend him here. If that's what happens, that'd be great, right? Because right now, goaltending is going to be a big thing. You're going to have goalies going down, getting hurt. It's going to be a very critical year for goalies, especially for backups, to show their worth because of the shortened season. So I'm confident that he's got it. Hopefully he can stick to it, and we can keep riding this amazing wave that we're on right now. Before we move on away from the Leafs, just want to make sure if you guys want to follow us on our social media channels, we're all over the place. Follow, like, share, do what you got to do. Pretty much whatever this video tells you.
In the hills with the stars, told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I go far. Oh, baby, it's crystal clear. out now.
So there you have it. Just to trail back a little bit for what you were saying earlier with regards to Thornton. So he's sitting right now currently number 7 in the league as for assist leaders all time with 1,094. He is sitting about 41 points behind Paul Coffey at number 6. And a little further up that list, Jaromir Jagr at number 5. He could potentially in the next 2 years. It's a very tight race. He's at 1,094, and number 3, Mark Messier, has 1,193. So he's at about 100 points off from being number 3, only behind Wayne Gretzky and Ron Francis. That's a hell of a number, and I feel like he could potentially do it at the pace he's going this year. He might have an amazing season. And you give him another year or two, he may crack that top 3 in assists, which would be a hell of a feat to reach, because if you look down the list, he is actually the only current active player in the top 25. So that's an impressive thing to see here. Top 25, he is the only active player in the league right now that can make any sort of movement up.
Wow.
So that's huge.
And you know what? This guy's playing with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner right now, and we got another 30 games to go or so. So who knows how many points? Let's just put a number out there and say Joe Thornton gets another 20 points on the season. That's a hell of a successful season for Joe. I mean,
Absolutely.
No one expected him to come in. People really thought signing this guy for the contract that he signed, he was going to come in and maybe play third, fourth line, be kind of the veteran presence in the dressing room, on the ice, kind of like, keep the kids, as, people will say around the league for the big four, or the Austin Matthews and Nylander and Marner, which they're not really kids anymore. They're growing before our eyes and turning into young men, which, yeah, they're adults now, and they're men in the league, that's for sure, the way that they're playing and the numbers they're putting up. But the way that Joe is playing right now, like you said, Archie, re-energized, man, and rejuvenated. He looks like he just looks right out there. Like he fits right in with everything that's going on that line. He's in the corners. He's using his big body. His vision is friggin' awesome. Like he makes passes that not many players in the league like right now can make. And even finding Austin Matthews on that one pass there a couple games ago, that cross ice feed. I mean, he had to thread that through a needle to get that. I think there was 2 or 3 sticks that easily could have intercepted that. And he just found the perfect little placement. Boom, one-timer. These guys are loving playing with each other. And you can tell just by the celebrations after the goals that are being scored by either Joe, Marner, or Matthews that they are having so much fun. And hockey is, at the end of the day, we played hockey. These players played hockey because it was so much fun. And to do that at the NHL level, the way that these guys are playing right now, it's like shinny hockey out there for them right now. That's what it kind of almost looks like, because it's almost effortless because they're so skilled and talented that the way that they're playing together, it's perfect. So let's hope that Joe stays with this line for now and keeps having a productive season, and he'll stay there. And I don't want to break that line up until we go, 3 or 4 games where something's off and we need a little switch up or change up. Like you said, we did with Tavares there, and that was hilarious because it wasn't even 20 seconds after, Archie.
Yeah, it was short.
The commentator was still in the middle of saying, "Oh, it would be so good for Tavares. Oh, Tavares scores!" It was friggin' holy shit. It's the shakeup that Sheldon Keefe wanted and that Tavares obviously needed. Hopefully that gets him rolling again because he's been a little bit slow. But yeah, man, Jumbo Joe, what the hell, man? Keep on playing. On that note, with the Leafs, because we're talking about them, I hope that Wayne Simmons is healing just right and on a quick way to recovery, because Leaf fans definitely miss him. I know me and you really miss Wayne Simmons, man.
Oh yeah, and again, another thing on Joe Thornton, just because like the age of this guy. He's 41 years old. And the other night, that 11-point combined game with Matthews and Marner became the oldest player in Leafs history to record a 3-point game at the age of 41 and 231 days. This guy's breaking records.
Right on.
It's like, come on, man. Breaking records. And I'm confident he's going to keep climbing on this list, and it's exciting to see. And like you said, the Matthews and Marner reactions are unbelievable. They're more excited when Joe Thornton scores or gets an assist on one of their goals than anything else. And it's almost more exciting than when they had Patrick Marleau. I love what I'm seeing with these guys. It's really exciting. And I mean, I love Patty Marleau, but Joe Thornton is bringing a whole other level of a veteran leader on this team that we haven't seen in a while.
And skill, man. Joe Thornton has a little bit more skill going on than Patty Marleau had when he was over here. Joe Thornton looks like he's 30 years old again. The way he's skating around, he's happy. He's playing like he just loves the game again, and he's happy to be in Toronto on this team, playing with two superstars who are third and fourth in points right now in the league, only behind McDavid and Draisaitl. So it is fantastic to see, man. I'm in love with it, man. I'm in love with the line. I'm in love with what's going on. And just going off what you said there, man, Joe Thornton, what a contagious character and attitude this guy brings. His interviews are awesome. The way you see him on the ice is just, it's contagious to me. I'm drawn to it. I love Joe Thornton right now as a Toronto Maple Leaf at 41 years old. I just really hope that it stays steady and there's consistency with the way this line's playing, and they're going to do bigger things than they're doing now, for sure.
Absolutely. And one of our viewers, Michael, here says Big Joe wants the cup before retiring. He's taking advantage of what might be his last chance to win it all, and he's leaving nothing on the ice. And it's true, man. Absolutely true. Good to see you as well joining in. But yeah, it's true. Joe Thornton wants to win, and he knew coming here with this team that they've built that there is an opportunity. Now, earlier this week, outside of being critical on Nylander, people are saying, and they said it during the game the other night, which I was a little bit, I don't know that I agree with it, but they're saying essentially John Tavares has lost his job as captain of this team. I don't agree with that. Is there more leadership in the group? Absolutely. There's much more veteran leadership now. It's not just JT. Is he playing through an injury? I don't know. Something doesn't look right with him. Hopefully it's just he's in a little bit of a funk, and that goal the other night helps him get out of it. But I hope that people don't start getting critical on him and the C and this and that. Everyone knows the future of the Leafs is Austin Matthews. Hopefully he stays here longer than the current contract that he signed to. That C eventually is going to be on Matthews' jersey. There's no doubt in my mind. But yes, fingers crossed that he remains in Toronto. Hopefully within his tenure of his current contract, a Stanley Cup comes to Toronto. That's going to keep him hungry and wanting to remain here. And so we've mentioned his name a couple times now, moving on from the Leafs. Connor McDavid. And I put here McDavid McDazzles because my goodness, this guy. Here I am writing a post on how he needed 1 point to reach the 500-point mark the other night. And it took him 3 minutes and 47 seconds, I believe, into the game to grab that point on an assist. And that brings him to 500 points in 369 games, which ties him with Crosby. Unbelievable. What a stat.
How crazy is that, man?
That these guys both hit the 500-point mark at 369 games. So I thought, I have an idea who's number one, but I'm curious to see who's on this list. So I pulled it up. Crosby and McDavid, we've seen these guys play. Okay. 369 games to get there. Both of them are tied in 8th for top 10. Wayne Gretzky did this in 234 games. I get it. Different era of hockey. But my God, he almost averaged essentially 2 points a game to get to that mark for 234 games. Unreal. Mario Lemieux, 287 games. And then a surprise at number 3, Peter Stastny did it in 322 games. So these guys have joined some high-class company. Like, they are, again, the only 2 current NHLers in this top 10 list to reach that 500-point club in this few games. So could Matthews get there? It'd be amazing. It'd be beautiful to see a Leaf player on this list. And who better than Austin Matthews? But congratulations to McDavid to join such company. And it's like a passing of the torch with these guys. There's always something between McDavid and Crosby, and it's just exciting to see it and exciting to see one chasing the other when it comes to records. What are your thoughts on McDavid?
Man, dude, there's not really much I can say. I think that every fan of hockey would say just about the same thing, unless you're some Edmonton hater or Connor McDavid hater and you hate the best player in the league for some reason and you're just jealous. I don't know. But McDavid is McDavid, man. He's Connor McJesus. He's McDazzles. He's a generational talent. It's like Sidney Crosby is kind of handing over the reins to Connor McDavid in the league for that special Canadian type player that comes every decade or any generation. So, I mean, what he does at the speed he does it is just beyond me. I don't know how he does it. To play in the highest hockey and the highest level in the world at what he does, and for him to stand out the way he does is just, he's up there with the greats. And if he stays healthy and if he stays healthy his whole career, bud, he's gonna have some records for himself, I think. And I know that Crosby also, you think about all the time he's missed with concussions and everything. He's missed a couple years, I think, if you added it all together. So you stay healthy, man. Connor McDavid, the sky's the limit for this kid. He's going to be one of the greatest to ever play the game. A lot of people would argue that he is the greatest right now to ever play the game. I mean, that's just like we were just talking about Wayne Gretzky. There's no way. Wayne Gretzky is the GOAT of the NHL and hockey. But yeah, it's really cool watching McDavid play. He's been doing it since he got on skates, since he was about 14. He's just been dominating, probably even before that. He's been dominating every league he's in, and now he's at the highest caliber he could play, and he's dominating here too. He has the full arsenal, man. Speed, shot, hands, passing, vision, back check. He's the highest paid player in the league for a reason, and he deserves everything he's got. And just as you were saying, man, I really hope that we have a same situation, in another year or two with the point totals with our own Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Don't forget about this kid. Mitch Marner is a point machine too. So as it stands, I'm pretty sure Mitch actually has more points than Austin Matthews right now. Just Austin Matthews blows people away by finishing the goals, right? So, but Marner's up there, and it's good for Hockey Canada. Just Edmonton and the Leafs just have these superstars that are playing on their teams, and there's not much more you could say about McDavid. Not much more I could say. There's other people that would bring everything else into it. I'll let you give me your take on McDavid, buddy. What do you see when you watch McDavid play? Are you just kind of in awe, jaw dropping, embracing that we get to witness all this in the present?
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's like I've said many times, he's in his own world on another level beyond anybody else. Makes it look so easy. I still can't get over that goal he scored against us, where he just took that puck, went through everybody like nothing, like it was practice, and it was just like I couldn't help but enjoy the moment for him, even though it was against us. Just incredible. And we've seen him do it time and time again. I don't know that I could pick 10 of his best goals, because I just feel like it'd be so hard. All of his goals are almost like, wow, like, did he just do that? And it's entertaining. It's great for the game. Love watching the guy play. And even just as a person, he's not a hateable character. Very few people, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say, I hate McDavid. Because from a Canadian standpoint, Team Canada, we love him. There's no doubt there. as
course.
an Oilers fan, there's no doubt you're going to love him there. And I just feel like he's not that cheap player. He doesn't run his mouth. He's not yapping away on the ice. He plays and he backs it up, man. Boy, does he ever back it up. He's got skill on another level and hell of a player. I mean, every team would want to have McDavid on there. So there's no doubt there. And in speaking to comparison, Sidney Crosby. So a lot of people, especially Montreal fans, over the last few weeks, we mentioned this last week too, under the impression that Sid may one day play for the Habs. But today he said he's remaining loyal to the Penguins and quoted from him, "Nothing's changed. I love playing here. This is where I'd love to play for the rest of my career." I don't doubt that one bit. I can see him being the guy that will live and die a Penguin. Like his career will remain there.
Three Stanley Cups, bud.
Yeah.
He has 3 Stanley Cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's 34 years old. I mean, there's hockey players that play their whole careers for a Stanley Cup. Really good ones, too, that are in the top 10 in the world overall, and that never won a Stanley Cup. And he has 3. I mean, he has so much hardware in that trophy room of his. It's unbelievable. I can't see Crosby ever leaving there, man. I mean, we know Wayne Gretzky got traded in the late '80s there, but I mean, I can't see Crosby getting traded out of Pittsburgh. I see Malkin or Letang or some other pieces leaving before Mr. Face of the franchise Crosby. So, Archie, just before we touch a little bit more on Crosby, I can put him in this take as well, but it's funny because Crosby and McKinnon, they train in the off season, right? And Crosby and McKinnon are some of the best hockey players and some of the best talent in the NHL right now. Who was training in this off season in the summer together for the first time? Maybe who was training together?
McDavid and Matthews.
McDavid and Austin Matthews. They have a friendship, and they were training in the off season together. Man, it's like those are arguably the top 4 players in the league outside of Draisaitl, I guess, right now. And I mean, hell, Mitch Marner's up there too. But these guys, these generational talents are training with each other. It just goes to show the way that Matthews is. He has that extra step this year, and then McDavid's just finishing more goals this year too. I think that they picked apart each other's brains and their talents a little bit, and that's what McKinnon did. McKinnon, when he skates in the corners, his edges and how low he gets with gravity, learn that from Crosby. I'm telling you right now. He's the one that got him there. Their legs are tree trunks.
Oh yeah.
And McDavid and Matthews, those guys are built kind of similar too. Matthews has slimmed down a lot. If you've seen,
yeah, he has.
He's slimmed down a lot. He's a lot more. He has a lot more muscle tone and like a fit physique. He was a little. I think he was probably maybe 10 pounds heavier last year. I don't know what his weight is, but he's slimmed down a little bit and he's quicker and he's just electric right now. So just goes to show you, man, these top talent guys are training together in the off seasons and they come out and they McDazzle us. So we'll put it that way. But just a last little thing about Crosby. At the end of the day, you can always come out and say in the media, you know, what's Crosby going to say if someone says, "Oh, what are your future plans? Will you ever leave?" He's obviously going to say, "I'm going to stay a Pittsburgh Penguin for the rest of my life. That's what I would like. That's what I'm going to do." Mm-hmm. Sometimes that may not be the case, though, and it's not up to him. But I think he would like to stay a Pittsburgh Penguin. Like I said, has all the hardware and the Stanley Cups. But yeah, it's just been a treat to watch Sidney Crosby over the years. I still think that he is one of the best talents on the ice today. And I'm going to enjoy watching. We're going to enjoy seeing Sid the Kid do his Sid the Kid magic for a long time yet. So it's not over. He's still got a lot of game in him, man. But yeah, that's my take on him. What do you think's going to happen with Sid the Kid?
Yeah, I think he stays. I don't see, like you said, 3 Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh. If you're going to try to win another, you'd probably want to win it with Pittsburgh again, right? So I do see Malkin, Letang, someone in that realm of players being traded before Crosby ever gets moved. But again, like you said, it's we've seen it happen. It could happen later in the career, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that Sidney Crosby's going to play till he's 41. You know, like I don't know that he's going to want to. He might not. He might say, "Hey, what's more to conquer?" Right? Like at this point, why put himself at that risk? Why risk getting hurt or ending a career on an injury? So who knows? Who knows what's in the books for that guy? I mean, I'm sure he's also one of those players that could very easily play till he's 45, 46. Who knows, right?
Archie.
But, yeah.
Archie. Does Crosby doesn't have any kids, does he? There's no little Sydneys running around, is there? Is he even married?
Funny that you mentioned that. I Googled that before the show because I thought, is he even married?
Great minds think alike.
And I was only able to narrow it down that he is not married. However, he is with a model who people are saying is essentially going to be his wife. He's been with her they're calling it a long-term girlfriend and future wife. Kathy Lutner, however you pronounce it. And she's got a net worth of $1 million, apparently nowhere near his or whatever. But these guys are like long-term. They've been together for a long time. Very under the radar. Sidney Crosby's love life has been super quiet to the point that at one point people started to question, could he potentially be gay? The first player to come out of the closet. Who knows? But in this case, obviously not, because now, you know, if you really go digging for it, you'll find it. But that's something very valid. Maybe he's going to want to start a family soon and have a little Sidney Jr. running around. And
that's what I was getting to.
You know, the next coming of another Crosby into the league, because you see it a lot more often where even now with a bunch of current players, their dads were former players too. So that's another thing too. It's funny that you mentioned that because I was looking that up today. I was like, there's never been a mention like Connor McDavid. I've even seen him with his girlfriend. Like it's a known thing. Austin Matthews, another one, very quiet. We've seen in the past 2-3 seasons, the Leafs, the entire team went from super social media present to gone. Like there is nothing. It's almost like someone, maybe Shanahan said, it's cut. Like they have
time to grow up, boys. Time to grow up.
They have their accounts, but it is super quiet. I think they know they're at a maturity level where they know, especially being in Toronto, you're under the microscope. So it's like very private, very low key. They tend to post highlights of their own goals, or 3-star moments, and they'll commend their teammates, but you don't see them in their natural element anymore. Mitch Marner, every once in a while, you'll see him skating around, promoting the insurance commercials or the True brand that he represents.
All business for Mitch. It's all business. All business and his dog. He has videos with his dog all the time. But so does Austin, Matt. You know what? That's, I think, what they're allowed. They're allowed to put up pictures of their pups.
Yeah.
and hockey. That's about it. But and it's funny that you said that, because I've noticed that within the last year or two as well, that there's not these little videos of them or Nylander doing something, or on a boat in Florida taking a rip or whatever. So I've noticed that, but
and that's the thing.
Maybe, I bet you they all just talk in their WhatsApp group on the team. But they have the WhatsApp, they share their information there, and they laugh and they keep away from everyone else for sure.
And it's funny because with Nylander, the last bit of social media I recall seeing from him was people ripping him and his brother apart for wearing socks and sandals on the beach, wherever the hell they were. I think they were back home. And it's just playing, some Euro music, and it's these two dudes, T-shirts, gold chains, shorts, and socks and sandals walking along a boardwalk. And it's like, what the hell? But you know what? They're normal people. So, I mean, I'm sure they want to have their privacy in their lives. And but it is interesting how the maturity level has changed with this team. And they've gone to a very private, less out there with their social media. And just another comment here from Michael. McDavid is part of a great class of generational players like Crosby, Lemieux, Gretzky, and Orr. Matthews is just under that class, which includes the likes of Yzerman, Sakic, Modano, Fedorov, and Ovechkin. I don't know if I agree fully.
I mean, the one thing, Michael, I have to disagree with you with that name right there is Alexander Ovechkin, man. Yeah. Alexander Ovechkin is a Lemieux type, Gretzky, generational player, man. We haven't seen a goal scorer like Alex Ovechkin really like ever. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for COVID-19 and reducing the amount of games that Ovi's playing, all he needed to do was score like I think 40 goals for the next 4 or 5 years from a year and a half ago or something in order to beat Gretzky's record for goals or something it was. Or who holds the goal record, Archie? It's Gretzky, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So that being said, man, he was on pace to probably do that by the time he was like 41 years old. I think that they guesstimated for him. And Ovi has just been nothing but phenomenal for the Caps. I mean, the guy's up and scoring top 3, 4 in scoring every year he's in the league, especially when he's healthy. And that's the other thing. Like, Ovechkin is a healthy player, man. This guy's played like I don't even remember the last time this guy had a significant injury that kept him out of the lineup for more than like 5 games. This guy plays hard, man.
That COVID suspension, that's probably the most.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, yeah, that's the only guy I see just in the classes you separated there, buddy. But yeah, Matthews, McDavid's there for sure. Obviously, 369 games it took him to score 500, and Crosby was there too. But I mean, Matthews is building a profile and a resume in the league right now, and it's just climbing and climbing. So we'll see what happens. He's taken another step. He's on another level right now, and if he keeps that and or goes beyond that right now, who knows? We're going to be talking about another generational talent like one of those players that you mentioned on the top talent boards there. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. And then he goes on to say, a few years ago, Crosby's family members tried to convince Sidney to retire sometime after the 2014 Olympics. And yes, I do recall this as well. After that third concussion, people were kind of like, should he look into perhaps calling it quits? Family members were telling him that he achieved every championship possible, that he should just avoid risking his health. 100%. And I'm surprised that, I mean, in a good way, he's kept it going. He hasn't had any other issues since. So, I mean, it's good that he's bounced back. But yeah, at his point in his career, I mean, you can keep playing for cups, but I mean, there's nothing new that he can possibly achieve. I mean, he's not going to be breaking any crazy records or anything. So at his point in his career, retiring may not, I mean, he's only 33. So it's not like he's at a crazy age. I mean, Ovechkin looks like he's 50, but he's only 35. So he just looks really old, but I mean, he's not. So these guys have an incredible skill that just doesn't disappear. These are those guys that can play in beer leagues forever and who will still dance circles. Like the other day, I saw a video of Teemu Selanne back home, and the guy can still play. And like he's one of those people that just he won't ever lose that hockey. And he's 50. He's 50 years old and he can still play. So it's like even guys like Paul Coffey may not have the speed they once had, obviously. But I've seen Paul Coffey and played with him in a tournament myself a few years back, and he still has a ridiculous slap shot that even the best beer leaguer at the age of 25 can't compete with. So, I mean, you don't lose that skill and that level of talent. And we've spoken about it too. You know what I mean? Like you lose your speed, but you don't lose the game. The game will always be in you and your hands will always be there. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those players go on. And I feel like at this pace, there's no reason why you would doubt that Austin Matthews can very well get into that sort of a class. It's early. I mean, he's got lots of time and who knows? Also, depending on where his career ends up taking him too. Other thing to talk about, the Lake Tahoe game. So I remember when we first brought this up, and I keep forgetting to bring it up again. You remember my first thing was, I hope they're playing on a frozen lake. And it's funny because a few weeks later, one of the players actually thought the same thing. And then he was corrected in the interview and he was like, what? Like heartbroken. And so it's not, obviously it's not being played on frozen water. Still a pretty cool scenery, the way they've got it set up. It's right by the lake. And there was a few clips today of the teams practicing on it. And really cool to see mountains and the scenery in the background, no fans, no nothing. This is the only circumstance where I would say, hey, no fans, just televise it. And it is just a really cool, different way of playing hockey. And so we have tomorrow at 3:00, Vegas and Colorado. And then Sunday at 2:00, Boston and Philly playing at Lake Tahoe. So it'll be cool. It'll be different. I mean, I'm probably going to watch just because you don't really get to see anything like this other than if you're playing in a video game. So it'll be pretty neat to see this concept in real life because it's been a part of the NHL video game platform for a while. And now we're going to get to see it different than playing in a stadium. They're literally playing with mountains in the background. So it'll be really, really cool to see that. What are your thoughts on these outdoor games?
Love outdoor games. I hope it snows a little bit. That always brings like the life of the outdoor game together for me. Especially, I remember Philly and Pittsburgh in like 2010 or some crap, and it was snowing and Crosby. They went to a shootout. Crosby had to basically shoot the puck because the snow was building up. The snow was building up so much that there's no way you were deking because you're losing the puck. You wouldn't know where it was. And I just love the snow effect, man. That to me is playing outdoor hockey right there. And just touching back, Archie, about you saying that there was that player that thought it was on the pond or the lake. He also said, and this is what I remember my brother was like, what the hell did he just say? He said, this is a professional NHL player. And he says he's never played on an outdoor rink in his whole life. That's what he said.
Trying to find who.
He's like, because he was disappointed. Because he was like, after he found out, his teammate, I forget who it was, but his teammate went, dude, you know it's not on the lake, right? Like it's set up. And he got all like disappointed. And he's like, oh crap. He's like, that would have been my first like time ever skating on a lake. I was looking forward to it. So that kind of blows. And what kind of NHL player has never played on an outdoor hockey rink that like off a pond or a lake or a river or something? You know what I mean? So I just found that really fascinating.
Yeah.
As for Lake Tahoe,
figure out who it was. I mean, obviously it's one of those four teams, but I feel like it was one of the Golden Knights.
I think it was a Golden Knight. But there's not much more to say about, for me, Archie, with Lake Tahoe. It's another outdoor game. It's obviously the landscape is a lot more beautiful, and it's an incredible thing how, like you said, just having the mountains in the background and the trees that are off the cliff before the water, and they're kind of up, and there's no stands around. It's not in this enclosed kind of stadium. This is outdoor hockey, and that's what I really like about it, and it's really cool the NHL is doing it. I wish that somehow, some way, they flew in. Every NHL team in the league got to go play an NHL game at Lake Tahoe this year. That would have been friggin' cool. But obviously, with all the shit happening, that's not going to happen. But enjoy Philly-Boston on Sunday and enjoy the Avalanche and Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow. So it should be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool that it's an afternoon game, so you kind of get to see that that daytime light. You know, it's not camera light. It's not it's legit like pond hockey. So and I mean, we've done it together. I know you've been doing it a lot over the last little bit, going out and playing on the water. It's nothing is more exciting and exhilarating to play hockey on a frozen body of water, whether it be a pond, those makeshift ones in communities kind of like mine, whatever the case may be. Playing on just natural bodies of frozen water is different, right? And that little bit of a flurry snow effect makes it all that much better. And it's fun. It's a different noise. I still haven't done it where, you know, we've seen people who do it downtown Toronto by the islands where you're skating on that lake where you can literally hear the blades cutting through the ice. I haven't done that yet, where it looks like you're skating on a mirror. That's something I want to do. Hopefully this year, maybe we can get out there and try that out, because that looks like it'd be incredible. I mean, it just looks like you're skating on water, which literally you are.
I've always wanted to do that too, Arch. That looks awesome. But you know what? The right word, the perfect way I would describe playing outdoor hockey, if you're a hockey player, is it's spiritual, man. It's a very spiritual feeling, and it's right into your roots of hockey and just you as a player, the sound, the noise, nature. It's just something that you can't even describe really, and the only way I could describe it would be it's like a spiritual feeling when you're out there. So it's a good, really good vibes, that like these positive vibes that I can't even grasp and explain to you with words. So yeah, really cool. If you've never tried it, guys, get your asses on an outdoor rink, especially a pond or a lake, a frozen lake or pond. It's take your breath away. Get on there with a couple buddies and go at her.
Yep. And the older the net, the better the effect. You want to have a beat up hockey net, no problem. Even if it's made out of wood, whatever the case may be, it just makes it that much more fun. And even sometimes driving around the neighborhood here, when I see, the construction companies put the signs up because they have to. The city puts up signs because they have to, and it says, stay off the ice or whatever. But nothing warms my heart more than seeing those signs up, and then you kind of look over and there's nets, just nets sitting there, because there's that trust that no one's going to steal it because it's a community net. Everyone's going to go there and play. Yeah. No one's going to touch that net. It can stay there forever. And you'll see kids kind of going back and forth and getting their skates on. And it's fun even just watching kids do it and to be able to be out there yourself too, right? So yeah, like Wade said, guys, if you haven't done it ever, definitely something you want to try out. I know a lot of the American viewers tend to call that a Canadian thing. It's like, oh, what are you guys, nuts? Yeah, we are nuts. We're all about hockey. Hockey is life. But give it a shot. Give it a shot. If you've got some sort of a frozen body of water, and obviously taking safety into consideration, get out there with some skates and a stick. You don't even need a net, just stick handle, whatever. But it's a whole other level. And like Wade said, it's a spiritual thing. Like you feel, as weird as this may sound, at one with nature, playing the game that you love to play. And there's no better feeling at all.
The only advice I'll give you is bring some extra pucks, because especially if there's snow and you take a rip at the net, you're probably going to lose a few. So I'd say bring like 3 or 4 pucks at least. And also bring either, if you're playing it early in the morning, bring your coffee, your tea. After 10:30, you better have a couple cold ones with your buddies, and that's what makes the effect even better.
Absolutely. We know what that's like.
They stay cold, guys. They stay cold. You put them right in the snow, and you're good to go.
Yep. Michael's chiming in again. What do you guys think about all the negatives surrounding Nylander's production? I'd like to know your opinions, because he is slightly producing less than Barzal, yet Barzal is considered as the Islanders' current franchise player. Is Toronto's media being hard on Nylander? So I'll take this real quick.
Yep.
So number one, yes, Toronto's media is definitely harder on any other player in any other market. That's just how it is here, and we've known this for years. That being said, William Nylander's been under the microscope not just this season. It's been something since he signed that new contract that people have been critical on him for. And he started the season in a really great form and then kind of disappeared. And I mean, I don't know if you want to, what you might compare him to Barzal, because yeah, Barzal is the Islanders franchise player. William Nylander is not the Leafs franchise player by any means. Mm-hmm. So it's a little different there, because if Austin Matthews was having a troubled time right now, that's where you could have that conversation. He's what Barzal is to the Islanders, Matthews is to Toronto. Nylander, a little bit different. He's been that scapegoat. He's been the guy that everybody would be first on the trading block if they had the opportunity. I personally see him skating around effortlessly, almost, if I could compare him to Patrick Laine. He plays when he wants to play and doesn't go hard into corners, doesn't skate hard. I still can't get over the other night on that play where a couple games ago, almost sprung out for a breakaway, but because the puck got too far ahead, he stopped skating. No effort, and just turned around and went to the bench. And it's like, could have been the end of a shift, whatever the case may be, but man, play the game. Hustle hard. Look at how the rest of the team is playing. If Joe Thornton can hustle hard at the age of 41, William Nylander has no excuse. Ilya Mikheyev has no excuse. What's his name? Jimmy Vesey has no excuse. these guys should be skating circles. But William Nylander is an up and down player, and as of late, it's been more down than up. He scored the other night. Hopefully that's something that helps. What doesn't help is the media, because after the game, I was annoyed that they're asking him about Austin Matthews. Why are you jamming Austin Matthews down his throat? One person asked him, how did it feel to get that goal tonight? And he was humble about it. He said himself, he knows he's got more to work on and more to work towards, and that it's not just one goal and that's it. And then they bombard him with, so how do you think Austin Matthews is doing? He's picking apart goalies. What do you want him to say? You're asking him to praise a line mate that's obviously having a hell of a season, but that's not going to help a player mentally. So our media sucks. 100%. Our media sucks, and they are they get in players' heads. Steve Simmons, we've all known it. He's done it for years. He is a loose cannon in the media, and the fact that his story made the front page of the Toronto Sun, not that the Toronto Sun is any sort of a reputable newspaper, but I didn't disagree with him on the fact that Nylander does need to improve his game. But that being said, I don't think we're ever going to hear Steve Simmons at the end of a game being offered an opportunity to ask a question. No freaking chance in hell. I'm pretty sure that he's banned from asking players questions. Wade, let's hear it.
No, Austin and Willie, the whole Leafs franchise, they don't they don't like Steve Simmons. He has his views, and he's pretty vocal about it. Writes it in the column, and he'll still come up and ask you like how you're doing as if he's your buddy. You know what I mean? And I think there was a video there last year. He was the one that released the COVID-19 thing, that Austin Matthews got COVID-19, and he went into the interview with him, and Steve Simmons asked Austin in the interview, oh, blah, 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 how's this? And then Austin kind of just shrugged his shoulder. He's like, Steve, I really don't even know why I'm talking to you right now. I'm pretty upset with the article that you wrote about me with COVID-19. Like, that wasn't your place or anything. So I just don't really have a care in the world about what you're saying right now. But he handled it like a professional, and he still answered the question and everything, which was cool. But Morgan Riley's face when Steve Simmons asked Austin Matthews that question was just like this. He was like, no fucking way this guy's trying to talk to you. In regards to the Nylander thing, I have two things to say. One, dude, Michael, it is Toronto media. This is the Leafs fan base, man. You could score 5 goals one day, have a shit game the next day, and everyone has your head. It is the worst. You know what? I love Leaf fans that understand the game of hockey and actually know what the hell is going on. But you have the trolls. You have the people that don't know what the hell is going on in the game, and they just point fingers about the stupidest shit, and they don't even know the analytics or the statistics of what's going on. So that's Toronto media for you. It's always going to be like that. William Nylander himself, I think that he is one thing away, one solution away from improving his game, and I'll tell you that right now. All this guy needs to do, from what I see, is go to the net, whether that's driving the net from the outside to inside, or when someone's taking a shot, just going to the net and presenting yourself, getting open, getting close, to me, he likes to stay on the outside, skate around, dipsy doodle, pass back to the point, enter, get his zone entries. But he just doesn't have that will, that drive to make that extra move from the outside to inside to go get a decent shot off. Like, he just doesn't give him himself. How many times do you see him go down the wing and he stops and pivots around the hash marks, looks up the other way, then goes the other way if he hasn't made the pass to someone yet? A player with this guy's speed and talent and the hands that he has and his impressive shot, which when he gets it off is fucking electric. This guy should drive the net, man. You know how many goals he would have if he just drove the net or went to the net? Wayne Simmons, for example, this guy goes to the net. What does he have? 5 goals in 8 games or whatever? I don't know. You got to take notes. That little move that Mitch Marner made. one of his nice snipe last game. Same scenario. He made a little move to get into the net front, and he friggin' put it up there. If that was William Nylander, I feel like he would have tried to pass it to Joe Thornton there and get it off. He wouldn't make that extra move. Yeah, I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but he needs to gain his confidence as a goal scorer, and he needs to go to the net hard, and the goals will come, man. And that's just outside of his work ethic in the corners and being strong on his stick and using his body. That's the one thing I think will change William Nylander's game, man. And that's just my opinion. But as a hockey guy, that's what I'm seeing. He just doesn't have that beeline to the net to try to score a goal. He wants to mix it up and the zone entry, get it to someone else, and then maybe get open somewhere else. No, get to the net. Go, Willie Nylander. I still have faith in Willie Nylander, buddy. I really do. I think he's a phenomenal player. He is taking it a bit in the media right now, but it is what it is, man. He's not playing the greatest, as well as John Tavares. Take the criticism and move on, and better yourself, better your game, and the criticizing will stop. So it's them that plays the game. They're the only ones that can change what everyone is saying. So I hope that they get on the horse and start putting up some more points, or at least just playing better. And the number one thing about that line that I know people are pissed off and Toronto fans are pissed off is the giveaways, man. Archie, we've never seen Tavares give the puck away like this before, man. It's the turnovers are bad. I've seen him turn over the puck maybe 10 times in the last 2 games just by himself. And it's like, man, like, come on. What's going on here with Johnny T's puck protection? He looks like he's lost a little step with his speed too. And you know what? It is what it is. Hopefully that these guys are healthy and there's nothing wrong, especially in regards to Tavares, like you were saying. Hopefully he doesn't have this small injury that's kind of aching him and stuff. But that line needs to get going. William Nylander will be fine once he starts scoring. Hopefully that jolted him getting that goal last game, and he starts putting them in again. Just like Ilya Mikheyev, snake bitten as hell. But Ilya Mikheyev, 2 last games, 2 goals. Let's go, man.
Absolutely. And a couple other things I want to talk about when it comes to media. Before we get into that, guys, we've got all kinds of live shows at The Buzz. If you want to watch something, we've pretty much got something every day of the week. If you miss anything, you can look out for an article called What's Buzzin' every week on typically Saturdays. We'll release it with all the shows that pretty much went on that week in case you missed them. So if you want to see what we've got, this is it. So there you have that. All kinds of shows available on our network that you can watch pretty much any day of the week. And if you're looking to just listen, they're all available as audio in addition to these as well. So yeah, we've got audio, video, live, recorded, all that available to you. Now, on the continued conversation with the media, Wade, you sent me something on Monday that I almost forgot about, which I really want to discuss. Nick Kypreos. I don't know what he's smoking, but the whole conversation came out about Sam Bennett and whether or not the Leafs should pursue getting Sam Bennett. Nick Kyprios seems to feel that the Leafs need to make this move now because they're trying to win now. I agree with him there. You want to win the cup? Go for it. He says the Leafs should consider moving Nick Robertson and Alex Kerfoot for Sam Bennett. And I think he at one point mentioned and maybe toss in what's his name? Lindholm.
Travis Bergman? Lindholm.
Lindholm, who the Leafs originally had, and I mean, no. But his main thing was Sam Bennett to Toronto for Nick Robertson and Alex Kerfoot. We both laughed at this. And then you sent me the stats that compare just Kerfoot. Kerfoot alone isn't worth trading for Sam Bennett, according to the numbers. I want to know your immediate reaction, because when you sent that to me, I was like, what? He's serious.
Well, oh, man, I play beer league on 2 teams, so I have my hockey boys, and one of them is really into hockey and the social media part of hockey. So he's got everyone on Twitter and he's following a bunch of guys, and I guess his phone's just going off all the time because before even I get something to put in during the group, he's already there, ding, 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 and he's already uploading like a video or a statistic or a picture or a screenshot. And he's got good stuff and his eyes are always open. Thanks, Darnell. But yeah, dude, my buddy showed me this and I watched it. What my immediate reaction, I just couldn't friggin' believe it. I'm like, you're telling, and the way Nick Kyprios, guys, if you see this friggin' video, I'm telling you, it's like Nick Kyprios was high on cocaine or something. I swear. Like it's like they do it. I would do it now for Sam Bennett. That's what I would do. And it's just like, dude, what the hell's wrong with this guy? This guy's so animated right now and too enthusiastic for me about this trade. Nick Robertson is a first-round pick for the Leafs, who's, came into the. Do you have the video?
Yeah.
Oh God, here, let's watch it. Just put it on. Let's watch it.
Leafs got to give up future to get Sam Bennett to try to win now, which means that if I'm tree living, I want Nick Robertson.
That's exactly who I was going to say.
You give me Nick Robertson and you throw in Kerfoot. If you throw in Kerfoot, then I can get Lindholm out of that. I can put him back on the wings, and then I got Monahan, Backlund, and Kerfoot. All of a sudden, I think I look a little better. Now, you got to move money in and money out, but that's the type of trade. So if you give me Dermott, or if you give me Kerfoot and Nick Robertson, I give you Sam Bennett.
And Toronto's not doing that.
Why? You got to win now. Why aren't you doing that now?
Because Nick Robertson, they think, is going to be a star for them.
What? Why? Why are you doing that now? What? Like, what the hell, man? Are you serious? Okay. Me and Archie. So
throw in Kerfoot. Like it's just a toss-in. Let's throw in Kerfoot.
So let's just throw the third-line center of the Leafs, who, has had a few, 45, 50-point seasons recently, and who I can't believe it, man, that this guy would say shit like that. No wonder he's not on the panel no more. That's just, whatever you retired or not, I bet you someone just said, listen, Kipper, we're tired of your shit and your opinions, so get the hell out of here. Listen, man, I sent you that, and then, guys, so I sent a screenshot of the comparisons of Kerfoot and Sam Bennett, and Kerfoot has not way better numbers, but better fucking numbers than Sam Bennett has in his career. So I don't know what the hell Kipper was smoking. And then Nick Robertson, this guy came in, his first NHL game was a playoff game, and he came in and he scored. Like, this kid's going to be something, and the Leafs believe in him. He's the pipeline player. He's a prospect for the Leafs, and we believe in him, and he looked really good in the bubble. So there's no way you're giving up Nick Robertson, one of our treasured prospects, and our third-line center in Kerfoot for Sam Bennett, who isn't doing diddly squat for Calgary and hasn't lived up to his name since being drafted in the first round for Calgary. So I don't know what's going on there, but thank you. I'm going to shout out my buddy Darnell for that footage, man. And then me and Archie had a good laugh about it. But yeah, I'm glad you threw the video in there for everyone to see, man. What was your reaction as soon as I sent that over to you, buddy? Were you like, what the? Come on.
As soon as you sent it, I saw, okay, Kyprios. That already told me a lot because Kippers, he looked like he was high. I think you're right. I think he looked like he was high or drunk or whatever it is, had some sauce that morning. I don't know. But the fact that he just makes it look like, hey, just throw him in. Throw in Kerfoot, as if Kerfoot's just like a toss-in. Hey, Kerfoot for Kadri was hurtful for us. But now looking at the numbers, Kerfoot's there. Like, he's no superstar. He's no Austin Matthews or Mitch Marner, but neither was Nazem Kadri. So
we got Tyson Barrie and Kerfoot for Kadri. Don't forget.
Exactly. So yes, Kadri had an amazing playoff run, and he's continued his game. Looks like his discipline has finally been grounded. You can't win every trade, but I don't think we lost this trade by any means. You could almost argue that it was an even trade. It answered our problems that we needed to address, and Kadri found another step in his game. So it worked, I think, for both teams. But to just consider Kerfoot a toss-in and Nick Robertson, I mean, I agree. He is a future. He is something that the Leafs have obviously planted as a future piece to this puzzle. And I'm curious now, even Michael chiming in here. He says, Kyprios is way off. Leafs have amazing depth right now, and depth is what gets you far in the playoffs, 100%. Trading away depth players for a Bennett center who is currently sitting in the stands makes no sense, considering the Leafs have guys like Spezza, Nylander, and Thornton who can slot in. 100%. Why would you go after Bennett? And lose Kerfoot and Robertson for a guy that you're not going to even utilize that well? And yeah, Nick Robertson
isn't even on a entry level contract yet, is he? Is he on a two-way?
I believe I'll check that real quick, but I
don't even know. I don't even know if he is. Actually, he's got to be. He's probably on his entry level deal right now.
I'm pretty sure he is. Double checking it right now. So Robertson. Oh, he's in the minors right now, right? Okay, so he's on he's on an entry-level contract through to the end of 22-23.
Perfect. So we'll see what we have in Nick Robertson. He'll definitely make the team. Maybe even this year we'll see him come up, man.
Yeah, he'll.
And then Michael's just talking about those guys. Don't forget about Wayne Simmons, bud. When he comes back, huge impact, friggin' winger. Gonna be good, man.
Yeah.
So you don't give up. You don't give up prospects like that for Sam Bennett. I mean, get the hell out of here. It just doesn't make any sense. Though, like you said, the Leafs have a lot of depth right now, and the forward depth is the last thing we need to address, in my opinion. Like, there's just no way. Yeah. If anything, grab another like top four, like a top four defenseman as like your fifth defenseman. You know what I mean? Like, grab another guy that can play big minutes that might slot into your fifth or sixth guy. And then that sits down friggin' Dermott and Dermott or Lettman or whoever, right? So, but yeah, no, I think just that take was hilarious, man. Like you said, I don't know what the hell Kipper was thinking. This guy's had some shiny some highlights, some shiny highlights over the years, man, and a lot of them are a joke. So. It is what it is, Kyprios. I'm glad that you're off the panel now, man. There's a couple guys there right now that kind of grind the gears a little bit for me, but we'll see what happens in the near future. I do like Anthony Stewart up there right now, though. He's doing a really good job.
And then we spoke about Justin Holl last week, and I'm liking him more and more every game for the Leafs, and how this guy is. I had almost given up on him last year. I thought, like, I don't know, this guy's just he's not gonna fit this team and what they're trying to build. And then he comes in this year, and it's like a completely different player. And the confidence this guy has to ride that blue line and just play positionally and have a vision. So I don't know if you caught this. I'm sure you did because I know you watch these games too. The night we lost that overtime game to Ottawa, very particular play. Morgan Riley has the puck. Austin Matthews wide open in that spot where he scored many goals this year. Riley goes for the shot. Misses a wide open Matthews who probably would have scored. Sens come back, win the game. Very almost identical play the other night with Justin Hull on the line. And he spots Austin Matthews. Doesn't even look at him. He's staring at the net, feeds that puck to Matthews. Matthews rifles it in and points to him right away, kind of like a fuck yeah, like you saw me, you saw that play. And what an improved player, man. At $2 million a season, we've got him through to 22-23. I like the guy. I'm very impressed with how he's been playing, and I know you're a fan of his too.
Man, I don't know if it's the flow. I don't know if it's his flow, his knight in shining armor flow that he's got going on right now, but what the hell? Like, this guy's playing like a top 2 defenseman right now. He doesn't fumble the puck. His skating's improved. He's faster. He always gets back. Puck races. He always winning puck races. He's a big body guy, always winning puck battles in the corner. The passing that the little passes that he's making,
yeah,
they're effortless. Like he's not rushing anything anymore. He looks like he's settled in to being an NHL defenseman, and a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable what he's done. And look at that goal he got like a week and a half ago. He walked the blue line and ripped it opposite side on Carey Price. Man, this guy is unbelievable. I'm a huge Justin Hull fan right now. Archie, I know you are.
Yeah.
This is I would almost, if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, in 2 weeks' time, I might even say he's our best all-around defenseman, the way he's playing. I swear to God. And I never thought I would say that because Riley and Brody and Muzzin, the last couple of games looking okay.
Yeah.
Prior to that, man, this guy's friggin' fishing or something. I don't know what's going on. He's in the clouds a bit. He's stumbling a bit. But, to me, since Muzzin's been on the Leafs, he's had a little bit of inconsistency. But when he's consistent, he's good. And he plays hard and he plays tough.
Yeah.
But this Justin Hull guy, man, what a story for this guy. And he's one of those defensemen that blossomed at the time that defensemen are supposed to blossom. Had trouble making it up to the Leafs. He's not a young kid. I think he's like 26 or 27 or whatever he is. And he's one of the, and you know what they say about NHL defensemen, it's about 26, 27 when you really acquire all your true arsenals and weapons of what kind of defenseman you're going to be in the league, and you understand the game. And Justin Hull is really starting to impress Leaf fans and the NHL with the way he's playing right now. So, and just touching quickly on that little passing play by Matthews. Oh man, beautiful. Buddy, he could have went in and ripped a shot, fed Austin Matthews, beautiful goal. And I know that that Riley was probably kicking himself in the head. You have the number 1 goal scoring talent in the league on your team, open for a one-timer to win a GWG, to win a game, and you shoot the puck with four red and white sweaters in front of you.
Exactly.
Why would you shoot that puck? Man, it was 3-on-3. You had all day to fish that to Matthews, and Matthews was right in his wheelhouse. You know that was going to be buried, and if it wasn't buried, I still would have liked it better than Riley taking that quick shot. And buddy, there was 4 guys and the goal, or there was 4 guys, including the goalie, in front of the net. There, it could have hit any one of them. Matthews, the goalie wasn't even in the net from Matthews' view. It was literally a wide open shot, and I think Matthews probably in practice the day before made that shot about 100 times. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Justin Hull playing awesome, and what a surprise for our fan base that we have a Justin Hull right now, because he's playing a 200-foot defensive game, man. He's good in the offensive zone. He's very smart. He has a good shot, and he's really, really good in the defensive zone, man. And I think that the other defensemen really trust him, and obviously Sheldon Keefe is really trusting him with the minutes he's been playing.
Yeah, and to go further on, he's actually 29, and talk about a late bloomer, drafted in 2010 by the Chicago Blackhawks in the second round, 54th overall. Didn't play a single game in the NHL until coming to Toronto in 2017. This guy buried in the minors. And when he did come, he only played 2 games for the Leafs, in which he got 2 goals from those 2 games. Remember that his debut?
Yeah, a goal in each game. I remember when Babcock put him back down, or Dubas or Lou Lamoriello at the time. I don't remember. Yep. But all Leaf fans were like, this kid just came up, didn't look too bad, but scored 2 goals, and we sent him back down. I don't know. I guess in practice they seen something that we didn't see, and he wasn't really ready with his foot speed and the toughness in the corners. But my goodness, continue on, Archie. I know you got a little bit more to say.
Yeah, well, he ended up going down to the Marlies, where he played 60 games, got 28 points for them, was a plus 23 rating, and was instrumental in that playoff run for them. So he did that. Then following year comes back to Leafs, 11 games, 1 assist. Kind of missed a step there. Then in 2019, 2020, 68 games played for the Leafs, 18 points, plus 13. Not bad. And now this year, he's 18 games in, 7 points. He's a plus 5. But it's his vision. It's his like you said, he's comfortable and making the right plays. And he's got the vision. He knows what he's looking for. And I'm now curious, because I was wondering, I was going to ask this as well. Michael just asked, did he come as part of the Versteeg trade? I think he did.
That would have back then for sure, bro. That would have been a Versteeg trade, because he came in that 1.5 years or whatever that he played, and it was probably like 2012, 2013, right? So I mean, you could look that up, but that being said, just spiderwebbing off what you just said there, Archie. Mm-hmm. Justin Hall, dude, right now it doesn't really matter to me that he's scoring at all, because the way he's controlling the defensive part of his game is unbelievable. So I don't even care if he doesn't get any points. He's shutting the lines and the second lines down, and he looks good out there, man. So he could go with 0 points, Bud, but I know that he's going to be a plus. His plus minus is going to be up there, man, in a good and in a positive way, because he's just been playing a shutdown guy, and that's what the Leafs need, man. You don't need a fancy guy that's mobile, that can move the puck. We already have that in Sandin, Liljegren coming up. Already have that in TJ Brody and Morgan Riley. Those are your mobile guys. You need a guy like Justin Hall. He's the perfect fit for what the Leafs need, and he's showing his potential this year, 100%. Unbelievable.
Yep, I agree. And when the Leafs did get him, I was just trying to find it. So he was he never signed an entry-level contract with the Blackhawks. He was a free agent and signed an AHL contract with the Leafs. So we didn't even get him by trade. He was a free player.
Pick him up.
We picked him up with the Marlies in 2015. And he's been in the Leaf system since. And he became the first Leafs defenseman to score 2 goals in his first 2 games. So he already made a name for himself that season when he did that. And the 6th defenseman in NHL history to score a goal in his first 2 games. So he's in the record books, man. And
little did we know that we have this friggin' phenomenal defensive player here in Toronto. We didn't know. And Justin Hall's had it all along. We just kept him under way out there. I don't know, man. He's been buried.
Yep, and he was part of that, that playoff run that eventually led to the Calder Cup for the Marlies. So that's why we ended up. He played those 2 games for us, went to the Marlies, had an amazing run with them, and helped secure the Calder Cup for them. So, talk about a diamond in the rough. Like I'm super happy about the way he's been playing, and like you said, I don't care if he doesn't score goals. If he plays defensively, that's all we want. We always wanted that shutdown guy, and he seems to be showing that. And at the age of 29, late bloomer, but hey, look at Mark Giordano, similar situation. He wasn't drafted either. Came into the NHL, and look at him now. So we're lucky to have found a guy like that, and I'm super happy with the way he's been playing. And just before we head out, I stirred a little bit of a pot before coming live today with regards to Alexis Lafreniere, and I know Michael's going to comment on here because me and him were kind of going back and forth on this. We are now 15 games in for the Rangers and still only has that one goal. People are saying it's still too early. Calm down. Don't get excited. I'm saying I get that, but you're a number 1 draft pick, first overall. And I get it. He's playing on a third line.
A lot of hype that too, man. So
yep. He's not playing with the best of what was anticipated he was going to be playing with in the with the Rangers in their lineup. But, and this is statistically, he's got 1 goal on 21 shots in 15 games played. He's a -7, averaging 14 and a half minutes in ice time. This is beyond a slow start, in my opinion. This isn't a slow start. This is a bad start. And statistically, he is off to the worst start by a number 1 overall pick since Patrick Stefan in 1999-2000. And they're saying he's actually on pace to have the worst rookie season by a number 1 pick ever. So that's not good. And there's still time for him to turn it around. And I get it, it's a short season too, so it's kind of the odds are stacked against him. But he was expected to have a 60-point season in his rookie campaign. Again, this was given perfect scenario with the perfect Rangers healthy lineup. But aside from that, I know he's on the third line, but when you're getting hockey analysts saying he looks like he's having a hard time keeping up to the pace of the NHL game, looks like his stamina is not there, and they're noticing this as a third line player, that's not good. That's not good. If anything, he should be dominating that third line. He should be destroying other teams because you're not getting the number 1 shutdown line being put against the Rangers' third line. So I feel like if anything, it should be helping him, but it's not. And I don't know. I think that there was a lot of hype, like you said, and some players, they're late bloomers, like we've seen many times before, but he's no Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews. And people are arguing, he's coming into a really shitty rebuilding New York Rangers team. Hey, Austin Matthews came into a really shitty Leafs team, you know what I mean? And he still had an amazing and won the Calder. Patrick Laine
scored 40 goals his first year.
Exactly.
By the way.
Patrick Laine, number 2 pick, still had a great first year in his homecoming season. Number 2, I think, in the Calder running. And Lafreniere, I don't know. I honestly don't know. He's definitely not going to be in a conversation for the Calder. No chance. Unless this guy starts tearing it up out of nowhere, which I don't see happening. I may have used the wrong word in saying he's a bust, but I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be another Alexander Daig. Like, it's just not looking good for him. And whether it's because the Rangers aren't healthy, whatever excuses they might have for him, a true player that is there to be that number 1 pick will find a way. Austin Matthews found 40 ways. So there's no excuse, man. You need to want that. And he doesn't look hungry out there. And his ice time was cut from 21 minutes down to just under 14 or just over 14. So my argument is I don't think he's going to live up to that expectation that was set out for this number 1 overall draft pick. Tim Stützle is looking way better right now. I think he went number 3.
That kid's looking good. Yeah. So,
but
for Laff, I dropped Laffy in my fantasy hockey like a week ago. So I couldn't take it no more, Archie. I said, you know what? I was taking a chance on the kid. I had high expectations. I dropped him. I felt bad, but you got to get rid of a player that has 4 fantasy points or whatever the hell he had for me. I still have faith. I still have faith that he's going to be a really good player. So, but I do agree, kind of at this point. I mean, first overall picks usually find a way by this point to dazzle and come on the highlight reels and show you what they're made of and why they were chosen first overall. And I don't know, he might be the laughing stock of the first overall picks in the last couple decades, I guess. So, I mean, I don't remember. I think Nail Yakupov to me is one of the busts so far, and he's not having a good start. Let's put it that way. Archie, I know that we're getting close to the end of this fantastic podcast of ours.
Yep.
But we gotta mention a little tiny bit about Buffalo. What is happening in Buffalo, Archie? What's going on, bro?
Buffalo. So the offseason answer to Buffalo was Taylor Hall. Let's bring Jack Eichel, that star player he can play with. Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
I don't know who I feel worse for. Taylor Hall seems to have become the pass around, the Marian Gaborik of today's NHL. This guy's just going to keep getting traded. And it's unfortunate because Taylor Hall is a hell of a player. I think he's a great player. I've always thought maybe he's got a bit of an attitude problem. Maybe he's not a team player. Maybe he's more of a one-dimensional, a Patrick Laine style player. But he's got skill. But Buffalo just doesn't seem to have anything. Like, they're 4-7-2. They've lost 4 straight. Today I'm hearing Jack Eichel's name as potential trade bait. It's like, you're going to blow things up. Like, you can't trade Jack Eichel. You can't. And I mean,
you can't trade Jack Eichel. You can't. Dude, they're in trouble.
Into the Leafs, we'll throw in Kerfoot and Robertson. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? What do you do if you are Buffalo right now? I'm stumped.
Oh man, I feel bad. I actually feel bad for Buffalo Sabres fans. I've never felt bad for them in my whole life. I've always loved the rivalry and hated Buffalo Sabres fans, like, with a passion. But to see what's going on and to see the way that the Leafs rebuilt their team and their franchise, I mean, they started from the bottom. They broke down the friggin' house, and they started with the foundation. And with Jack Eichel, I drafted in 2015, right after McDavid, and they started from scratch. They started a full-out rebuild, and things were looking really good for them. The prospects that they had, and I don't know, like they had Rasmus Dahlin, who's huge. They had Alex Nylander. They chose first overall. Another name. They took in Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner was looking good. I don't know what's going on in Buffalo, man. The goalie situation's all messed up for them now. And Taylor Hall over there, I don't really know what's going on, if he's just not clicking with the line mates that he has. And man, like, what do you do if you're Buffalo? If you have another losing season, I mean, I think Jack Eichel's ready to pull out his hair. He's captained this ship for a few years now, but the ship's still anchored. Like, it's not going anywhere. Like, what the hell are they going to do? Do you bring in another coach? They already had Pittsburgh's coach there at one point. They already got rid of him. I'm not sure how many coaching changes they've had recently, but they have a lot to figure out, man. Ristolainen and Dahlin are good defensemen. They're a great top two. Your forwards are looking pretty good. I don't know what else they can do. They gotta put some wins together, and if they don't make playoffs this year, who knows what questions will be who knows what moves will be made and what trades will be made and what kind of trade deadline people will be going this way and coming in this way. I don't know, man. But Buffalo, they were 1 year ahead of rebuilding in Toronto, and I was actually worried. Everyone said Buffalo and Toronto, it's going to be a rivalry for 10, 15 years, this rivalry, the way that these guys have built their teams up in the last few years. It's going to be awesome. And it's just, I think maybe the first or second year, Austin Matthews, I think 2016 and 17 was fun. But I don't know, the last 3 years, inconsistency, and nothing's really exciting about facing the Buffalo Sabres except for Jack Eichel. That's not good. That's not good at all. And their organization has to figure it out. I feel for Buffalo fans. Like Archie just said, 4 straight losses. They have 2 out of the I think out of the 11 or 12 games they played, they have 2 regulation wins this year.
So
2 regulation wins, guys.
In January, 10 games, they won 4. 4 games. So they won 4 games in all of January's 10 games. Each one was by 1 goal margin. Then they got postponed a bunch of games because of COVID. So they started February off with a big gap of games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games got postponed. They come back.
Yeah.
Bang. 3-1 loss to the Islanders, followed by a bang, 3-0 loss to the Islanders. So outscored 6-1 in the last 2 games. They've got New Jersey tomorrow, and then back-to-back with the Flyers. They are 1-1 so far against the Flyers. They beat the Flyers 6-1 in the 3rd game of the season. I don't know what happened to that team. And then they lost 3-0 the following night to that same Flyers team. So they are super inconsistent. Victor Olofsson is their leading scorer with 6 goals. Jack Eichel's got 10 assists, 12 points. They're in trouble. And here's Michael. Buffalo's a mess. It's embarrassing. I would definitely call Lafreniere a bust if he was drafted by the Sabres. Yeah, Buffalo's in trouble. They are definitely in almost like it's a dumpster fire there. Like I don't know where I would even start with trying to address the problem. They're not scoring goals and they're not getting production, and you need to score goals to win games. So and you know what, Archie? It's not even this year. In the last 4 or 5 years, Archie, how many times in the first 6 weeks of hockey or 2 months is Buffalo one of the top teams? Like 3rd overall in the league with how many wins they have or points. Dude, they're always up there, and then boom, they just hit this friggin' wall. And I don't know what happens, but they start off the season and they're like 15 and 4 or 5. And then all of a sudden, you look at the standings 2 months later, and they're like 15 and 13. Like they go on this. They start off hot, and they cool right down like ice cold. Like I don't understand, man. That's hard to get over as an organization because it's been happening consistently. Consistent negativity in a line with all these years in a row is not good, man. And you got to really bringing Taylor Hall was a good idea, but I'll tell you this much. You can say, I know Taylor Hall came out and had he came out in an interview recently and he said, I would like to stay with Buffalo. Man, we've talked about this. Me and Archie both agreed. And we could run it back to a few, maybe 7 or 8 episodes of Between the Pipes. But we both said that he's not going to stay. Archie argued that by trade deadline, he's going to be gone this year. And I said, I think he's going to play the year out and see where it happens. But man, it's kind of looking like, man, he might be gone by trade deadline. And man, if they got rid of Jack Eichel, Buffalo Stadium or wherever they play, man, I don't know, man. I think there's going to be a fire lit because your team is going to be going through another rebuild, man, when you've watched your best rivals just skyrocket way further than you have. So, man, you got to be relevant in the league, in the NHL, especially with a player of Jack Eichel's caliber, and they've been trying to build around him. They have good players. That's what I don't understand. Their goalie situation isn't the greatest. I know that. Yeah.
But hey, find a way. General manager, president, find a way to get an established goalie into Buffalo. Maybe that'll help them out and lift their spirits. Because this Allmark guy, I think Hutton's there too. I don't know, but they're not doing the job. And when you have a bad goaltender, the team in front of you can feel it. It's more nerve-wracking. It's not a comfortable feeling to know that you could score 3 goals, 4 goals in a game, but your goalie is likely to give up 3 or 4 goals too. You know what I mean? So you got to have the confidence in your goalie in order to be a winning team. And Buffalo, obviously, that could be a little bit of the problem. I don't think they have that confidence in their back end with their goalie. So we'll see, Archie. I don't know.
It's
messed
funny
up though, buddy.
You said in looking at the last 5 seasons, they flirt with playing 500 hockey. They've been below 500 each year in the last 5 seasons by 1 or 2 games below, finishing 7th, 8th, 8th, 6th, 6th, not qualifying for the playoffs in either year, obviously. So, and they really played bad in 2017-18. They were 25 and 45. So, yeah, the team's in trouble. And I'm just looking at their roster. Dylan Cousins is there. Rasmus Dahlin is there.
Dylan Cousins.
Yeah, Dylan Cousins. And it's like Taylor Hall. Carter Hutton is 35 now. He's not the same goalie. And Casey Middlestat, he's been good for them. Kyle Okposo.
Yeah.
Peter Olofsson, Sam Reinhart, Rasmus
Ristolainen. Okay.
Rasmus Ristolainen.
That's what I mean, bro. That's what I mean. They have a good roster. What the hell is going on in Buffalo?
Yeah, there's something. There's something going on. If it's the coaching or what's going on, but is it Lindy Ruff back there? No. Who's coaching them?
I don't even know who's there right now, man. I haven't paid attention. They also haven't played a lot this year, so I don't really know.
So he's 61, second season as head coach of the Sabres. So I mean, maybe it's another old coach that just doesn't understand the new system and how they should be playing. I don't know, but they've got a decent roster. So
that's what I mean, man.
If you lose Eichel, you're in trouble. Taylor Hall's going to want out. He's not. What's he going to stick around for? And it's too bad. You almost, like you said, I feel bad. I mean, I've always hated Buffalo, but I actually feel bad for the players on this team right now because they have no identity. They have a great lineup and no identity as a team.
No. It's something that needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to be fixed, man, because especially for Leaf fans, man, it's so much fun going to Buffalo and watching a game, and for Buffalo Sabres fans to come over the border and watch a game when their team's playing the Leafs in Scotiabank Place. So I don't know, man. I hope the best for Buffalo's organization, but dude, it's not looking good right now, man. And Jeff Skinner, that contract, definitely a killer. Like we've talked about before, that is bad. Like $9 million, he's not a $9 million player right now, and hasn't been for a couple of years. So
they banked that all on that one crazy season he had. That's a perfect example of you never do that. Like, I still get puzzled by that contract because, yeah, he had a great year, but you don't just reward a guy for having one good season and give him $9 million till 2030 or whatever he's in for. Like,
yeah,
28 years old, and he is not. And people cry about Mitch Marner's contract. You imagine having that Jeff Skinner contract? Because I know at one point the Leafs' name was involved in those conversations. I'm glad we never got him.
Oh my God. Yeah, Mitch Marner also has triple the points that Jeff Skinner finishes with every year. So, I mean,
so it's like,
shit.
Yikes. But yeah, so it'll be hopefully they win this weekend and turn things around. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. Leafs Montreal, as always, exciting hockey to watch. Leaf fans love it. Habs fans love it. So, I mean, it's going to be a good weekend of hockey for us. That's for sure. So with that
Tahoe
said,
tomorrow too, bud. Tahoe tomorrow and Sunday too. So watch some outdoor hockey, get into it. It's a lot of fun. So I'm ready for that.
Yes, sir. So with that said, guys, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Between the Pipes. Check us out on social media. Our info is down below. Wade, any closing remarks?
TGIF. Have a good weekend, everyone. Stay safe. Enjoy it. Relax. Watch hockey. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, Archie. You're the man.
And as always, go Leafs, go.
Absolutely.